Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, March 26th, 2026. How is everybody? Russell, how you doing? Code Blue, good to see you. Um, I had the last couple days, I had some appointments. Uh, Last spring, I had a kitchen renovation that I did, and then per city requirements, the inspector comes out to make sure that everything is done right. Since we had to pull permits for electrical to install a new dishwasher, the inspector came out and he didn't like what he saw, and so he asked for the electrical company that we had contracted through to come out and make the changes, and then they didn't do it, and then he came out to take a look at the job after the kitchen was finished, and he saw that they weren't done, and then like nothing happened, and then he called me a while back and he says, okay, well, I heard from the electrical company. He said, well, we got to come in, we got to fix this. So made an appointment like 2 weeks ago. They came out, spent all day there, and made all the required changes. Great. Called the inspector. Inspector comes out. Inspector says, first thing inspector says is, okay, well, let's take a look at the dishwasher. I'm thinking, oh, son of a gun, because they didn't even look at the dishwasher. The wiring on the dishwasher apparently was not up to code, or was not correct. Found a couple of other problems. So now, thinking that this was going to be the last time I have to take off of work to do this, now I'm going to have to schedule an appointment with the electrician, and then a subsequent follow-up inspector appointment, which they only do between the hours of like 9:30 and 12:30 or some goofy thing like that. It wasn't. Thankfully, he wasn't too late. He showed up at 10:30, so I guess that was okay. So I gotta schedule two more appointments now because that didn't go right. And then today I go in at the crack of dawn. I get in. I ship like what I've got ready to go out, and then I get back in the car. I mean, I didn't even bring my lunch from my backpack in out of the car, and head over to the car dealership, which is about 20 minutes away, and getting a tire and then a piece for the inside of the car or inside the engine compartment. And they ordered the VW apparently shipped the wrong piece. So while I got my new tire, apparently now I'm going to have to go back again for that appointment so that they can put this piece back on. So it's been one of those days, and as such, my motivation today is not really there, but I think we got some fun stuff. I think we'll work on today, and maybe that will get me back in the mood. Plus, it was early. Uh, that's just how Thursdays are. So here we are. All right. Other than that, life is good. We got a tire. We've got plans to go antique hunting on Saturday. There might be a smoking jacket in my future. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think you guys have been hounding me enough about it that I think I'm just going to do it. We'll see. We are going to a vintage clothing store for certain is on the agenda, which also happens to have a Schaefer double desk set there, which I may or may not acquire because I don't really need any doubles, but we shall see. So let's see what is cooking. All right. So for today, we're going to see how long this holds out. And I was working on a repair earlier today that has not been, it's not making me happy. I didn't want to waste time on stream with it because it would be immensely boring to watch. But I've got a situation where a section nipple, the step down isn't big enough that a modern sack will sit flush. It actually sits proud of the next step up, which is the step that goes in the pen, so that the pen doesn't. I can't actually put this section back in the pen. And the client has been patiently waiting for a while to get this, and so I have to put my thinking cap on to see what we're gonna do about that. I have a couple ideas, but I want to let it percolate a little bit. There's no sense in rushing into it. This pen is at least 100 years old, so it can wait a couple more days until we get some good ideas. So, I know it's an hour early on Thursdays, and so usually we have our UK and Australian correspondents chiming in, but they must forget that it's early today. So anyway, let's take a look at what we got on the bench. I'm going to do this first because this is a relatively easy repair. Of course, I say that, which means it is going to be a terrifying repair for certain. And if you're not familiar with this pen, I'm not surprised. You'll notice here, this is, I've got the feed out. This is a Waterman 12 right here. A regular Waterman 12. And the feed is way out, so let's pull this out. Well, just to give you an idea, there you go. There's the barrel length of the Waterman 12. This one here is also a Waterman 12. Barrel is marked 12. This is a Waterman 12 stenographer's pen. It's slender. It uses the same nib. I suppose you could post it. It's rather ridiculous. But it is kind of a fun pen. And the nib on this one, and you can see obviously it was used because they did post it. You can see the discoloration difference between the end of the barrel where it posts and the rest of the barrel. So, but this one has tipping broke off on one tine. So we've got this nib here that we cleaned up on Tuesday, that I believe will fit because this is a standard number 2 size nib. It has a much later Waterman imprint. It's probably going to be impossible to see. Oh, there you go. Much later imprint. And it is engraved for Earl Rathburn Fares. There's the nib. And you can see the tipping is broke off on this right tine. And just to prove I'm not lying, number 12. Kind of surprised they didn't give it some other number, but that kind of fits. And it's just an eyedropper. Nib. Now we've got this small little portion of the feed here, so I think I am going to put this. I'm going to drop this in the ultrasonic. I don't think this is going to discolor. If it does, I can put just this part into the Dr. G's. But before I go knocking on this, And there's really nowhere to mark on here. That's the feed. So I got some fresh water in the ultrasonic. We're just gonna drop this in there carefully. I don't really see anything coming out, but it's really not the point. We want some liquid in there, act as a lubricant when I start pounding on it, to try to get the nib out. So, vent hole at the top of the cap, which is kind of cool. But look how long this barrel is, and thin. Ink capacity, who knows? Probably the same. Okay. While we're waiting for that, I want to take a look at. This is where we left off the other day. Oh, actually, we did sack these three. That one's bad. These work. We've got 3 more desk sets. Three nice touchdowns. Okay. Question is, will they fill? First one, an Imperial. Boy, what a nib. Broad nib. 14 karat. That's nice. Hey, Blaine Water. Yeah, it looks nice and juicy, doesn't it? That's something else. Holy cow. The trick, of course, is going to be remembering which desk sets these all go to. Fills nicely. And speaking of inlaid nibs, for anybody that was interested, I got my restock in today of the Schaefer Legacy in the gold trim with the two-tone caps. So those came in. If you were on the list to get a notification, it should have gone out for you already today. Super good looking pen. There we go. First one didn't fill quite right, but sometimes it takes on a fresh stack. It takes a little bit, and with the visualated section, is really easy to see that it didn't fill. Much different story here. This is a little bit fatter too, which is why it was so difficult to try to find the right barrel. Nice nib. So nice. It's sort of fine. Fine medium. I know they didn't make them that way, but depending on the paper. Fills well. I'm just swishing it around just so I can get any ink that might be in the feed out. Hey, Juicy. Derek, how you doing? The nice thing about visualated sections like this is you can really tell when it's clean. Those obviously won't fit in the spinner, so we're gonna have to come up with a different method to deal with it. Getting ready for the Dutch Pen Show. When is that? This weekend? Tickets on sale this weekend. All right. That should be fun. All right. I don't know what base this guy gets, but there can only be one. It's a 1949 first year fat touchdown desk pen. Oh, nice. Is he selling it by any chance? Yeah, all these desk pens are for sale. Very nice. All right, so we'll flush these. Spin them out in some capacity, seal them up, and style point nib. I don't know what that is. It's a standard conical, Schaefer conical nib. Oops. Wrong one. You can just see how easy it is to clean these out with that Waterman's ink. Excuse me. Let's see if we can just stick this little bit in there, and should be enough. Just get one thread on there. One thing I don't like about touchdowns is the threading is really, really short. So when you're putting section sealant on it, it's hard not to make a mess. I love how you can just let this one just like seemingly go forever. All right. Let's get situated here. Mm. I think this is the last hurrah for this toothpick. All right. Get some of this old stuff out of here. Did it pass the inspection at home? No. So now the electrician's got to come out again. And then I have to waste more time waiting for the inspector to come back for the fourth time. It's just ridiculous. You would think an electrician would know what is expected by the inspection. Well, you know, especially considering that the inspector called him and let him know what wasn't right the first two times. I mean, what are you going to do? I appreciate that they're looking out for my safety and all, but I just want to stop wasting time, you know. I think that Q-tip went, or that toothpick went in the garbage. I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out later when I step on it. Yeah, and the funny thing is like they may have forgotten certain things, but like they knew they should have known that a dishwasher requires a GFCI breaker and some kind of override or something. I forget what he said, but I looked at him. I said, well, I said, I don't know that I can remember that. He says, don't worry, I'll call him. All right, I'm getting to the end of my little thing here. So I'm going to clean off my threads here a little bit. All right. All right, so those guys are done. We'll match them up with some bases. I've got half a dozen bases on my counter. The Paloma you got is coming from Milwaukee. All the good pens come from Wisconsin. All right. This is a little tricky. So one of the problems with these earlier Watermans, especially eyedroppers, is that there's so much taper on the section that it doesn't fit in your knockout block traditionally. Um, the widest point of the nib is wider than the front end of the section. So as you can see here, it's about right there is all that's actually in the section on this particular pin. This feed's definitely got some ink buildup on it. You can see it on the tip of. But I'm going to be a little extra cautious here. Quite a bit of buildup. You can see it right there. So we want to get that off. It seems like there's a little deterioration here. Omaha, how you doing? Early stream, yeah. Thursdays are always 1 hour earlier. I actually changed it a couple months ago. Lisa's week is already long enough, so I don't really need to have. I don't need to be here till 5 o'clock. On a day she's done at 4, so. Well, this is something else on here. You ever question whether a pen was used? This one was definitely used. Must have been some kind of iron gall ink or something. Comes off kind of green. There we go. That's the most impressive buildup I think I've seen in a long time. You got some osmoroids you swear were used the India ink or road tar? Yeah. Yeah, that's what this looks like, you know. Ironically, the feed channels themselves seem to be okay. You never noticed. That's all right. Suppose I probably could have put that in Dr. G's and see if that would have taken some of that out, but literally had to scrape it off. All right. Just going to do a little light polish on here, and then we'll take a look at the nib. Yeah, and like on osmoroids and things like that, you'll see you got a better chance of seeing some nasty buildup like that because they may have been used more for drawing and been exposed to a wider variety of dip pen or Higgins or India inks. And, maybe this particular stenographer was using something a little more permanent. Which is entirely possible depending on what they were responsible for recording. There, that looks nice. If you accidentally get microgloss inside like the feed channel or something like that, it'll or inside combs, feed combs on a later pen. If you just put it in and let it sit in an ultrasonic, the ultrasonic will really pretty much break that up and make it a lot easier to get out of there. Very primitive feed, but it'll work well. All right, let's take a look at these two nibs, make sure they're right. I'm not going to clean off this one here because it's damaged, but you can see. Let's see. Let's put this over the top. Yep. Same size, so that's good. You can see it only went down so far. Wherever that line is. That's as far as it was extended into the section. And you can actually see the section, how it's, show you this here, over time, how it's ovalized. So you kind of know that's how the nib goes in. In this particular case. Hey, Gary. The sketch pens are actually super easy to clean as long as you use India ink. Okay. And actually, it's funny because I just put it in the reverse order and it didn't go in as well. I'm not going to push it in any further than it needs to. This one was obviously in the pen for a very, very, very long time in that capacity, in that position. So, oh, it was Gary. It was your birthday yesterday. Should we all sing? Can we all sing for Gary? You're feeling a little older? Come on. All right. Look at that. That looks good, doesn't it? Very nice. Okay. Just for fun, not that I really, really need to, but we'll see if there's any ink inside the cap. Not much, actually. All right. You told your wife not to get you anything as you were feeling guilty about all the pens you've been buying? You're having a family dinner tonight, so my children will no doubt have something for me. Well, that's good. Just a little cleanup on the cap, and I think we're done with this guy. No sense in going overboard. Yeah, I'm real happy with that. A little spring to it. So there you go. Stenographer's pen. Actually, I'm going to heat this up and shove this back in the feed back in the section here. So this one is slightly out of round, so I'm just going to heat the whole thing up. Just put it on a little. Who knows? I may need this section at some point. It's just nice to keep all the parts together. Just in case because otherwise I might forget what that went to, but now it's, it's on a 12. You sold 6 pens yesterday? That's a great gift. Yep. Very nice. All right, so I'm going to throw this back in the bin. This guy is done. I'm going to put that in this other tray over here. Okay. That pen's been bothering me since I bought it, so I'm glad I finally got it fixed. All right, what's next? Empty tray, which is always good. All right, here's the next group. Real nice mix here. Aiken Lambert, Mercantile. Full-size jade. Beautiful pen. A little bit of discoloration, not too bad. It's got that beautiful clip. Kind of got that nice curve to it. We got a Conklin Student in green. We've got a Balance in jade. A black senior, oversized with a cool Knights of Columbus logo on the top. What time did the inspector show up? My window was 9:30 to 12:30, and he showed up around 10:30, so it wasn't too bad. And then we've got a nice full-size Carmine Balance. I did get a lot of pens listed on the site yesterday, which is good. Got a lot of stuff done. It was good to take a day off. Oh, this Aiken is awesome. Awesome pen. Fairly firm nib, actually. Not as flexible as some. So hopefully these should be straightforward. All lever fillers. And all will be for sale eventually. Hey, Ron, what makes it awesome? Well, for one, wish that hadn't come out. Not that way. Aiken Lambert's really one of my favorite 19. Wow, I like early Aiken Lamberts. Plastic Aiken Lamberts aren't really my thing. But there's a couple that are really nice. The Jade, there's a Lapis, and there is a version of this in red hard rubber too. But they're first tier pens. They were actually bought by Waterman. Aiken actually used to make pencils for Waterman before they bought them. Early Aikens have some of the best overlays that you'll ever see. They're just as good as Waterman, in some cases, sometimes better. The handwork on them is phenomenal. Well, every single one of these, the bar is going to come out on me. So that's no fun. They're just really, they're not your normal big five. You listed 10 pens yesterday. You have about 12 ballpoints to list over the next few days. You have a Prince pen set, ballpoint, and a fine liner in sterling silver. Wow. Can't find any info on them. Yeah. Well, that was unexpected. There is absolutely nothing in that barrel. There's a nice relief on eBay. What is it, 2L? All right, so we'll clean this off since it came out. So if you get a bar like this that slides into this slides into slots on the bottom of the lever. And if it falls out and you can't figure out exactly how it goes in, look for this. They usually have this little indent here. And so that is where the lever comes down and stops. It rests against that so that it's at a perpendicular. If you put it in like this, it wouldn't make sense. Because it would actually probably stick out too far. But sometimes these can take a little bit to get in, so don't waste time and do it the right way. Do it this way. It could be a little challenging to get in. I don't particularly find it a good time. And usually when you get it, then I like to put it so that the lever side is down so it doesn't accidentally fall off or something weird happen. I bought several of these from oh, that's no good. A well-known collector, but we're still gonna clean them up. That sack looked questionable to me. This is actually a new sack, believe it or not. From someone I know reasonably well, so. Not sure, Red Cap Band. Technically, technically all of them should have a red band on the cap. That was the relief equivalent of the white dot or the blue diamond. They had marketing that would say, look for the red band. And in some cases, and it was made out of casing, and in some cases, if that casing gets fragile and breaks, what you end up doing is you end up screwing down that inner cap, and then it causes problems with the seating of the nib, and the cap won't thread on properly. You've got a red band relief that's hard rubber. Yeah, they're very nice pens. They're very, very nice pens. They're definitely no joke in the Estabrook department. Got some schmutz on the platinum here. You want a really, really nice relief. You got to look for the Model 4. Model 4, you say? I've never seen one. Never heard of one. They're as big as a senior dual fold in girth and length. And they're just wonderful. I may have seen two in my life. Okay. So a couple of these are going to be easier than expected because there's no sense in me reinventing the wheel here. Brand new sacks, yeah, that's just fine. This one's a little different. This is why you need hemostats. You can just lock it in place and then it doesn't really. Doesn't really go into anything. It's going to be a little more challenging than I thought on this one, maybe. Okay, we're going to leave that upside down because it doesn't really fit in a channel per se. You see, the Relief Model 4 only comes in hard rubber and model blue. That sounds about right. Model blue would be outstanding. If you could find it, hard rubber would probably be the easiest one to find. And I really think if you were looking for one, you should not be picky. Because there won't be a second chance. The 3 is a nice substitute. And 4 only came in a lever filler, but 3 came in a what they call a stud filler, or the S model, which is the button filler. Which, by the way, is, I won't say impossible to repair, but it's not fun. Especially if you need to remove that button. I don't know how they got that in there, but it really just does not. I should probably put this in the ultrasonic, huh? It doesn't want to come out. This Aiken nib's got some nice patina going up. 4L is what it is, not a 4.7. L for lever. Although oddly enough, the Model 1s are just Model 1s. There's no L, there's no differentiation because they only came in a lever. Although that's not true. There's a 1R, which is regular type, which is an eyedropper, same as a 2R. But 1Rs and 2Rs are really hard to find. So I need a sack for these two. Probably, that's a big one. that on eBay? You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell anybody. But I am going to look. Nelly. Where did it go? Oof. That's rough. Wow. Plating loss on the bands. That inner cap's not screwed down. At least the case and band looks okay from the front. The tab on the lever looks good. The nib looks good. Probably could be cleaned up easily enough. You can read the imprint. Yeah, that's gonna get pricey fast. That'll be a fun one to watch though. I would be shocked if that thing didn't end at $250 or $300. First one of those I've seen in a long time. I don't think this one needs to be cut at all. I always like to cut it just a little bit just in case my math is off. Interesting message description. eBay encourages buyers to open cases due to new service metric money making scheme. More cases against sellers, more fees. Hmm. That one might fly under the radar. Well, this bar is a royal pain in the butt. It doesn't want to sit in there, right? This is why I like crescents. They're just so much easier. Nope. That's a tomorrow problem. Hey, Andy. Yeah, new pens. I'm trying to justify my existence here by getting rid of stuff I just bought. Because I'm saving up money for the Chicago show. So I'm trying to get the budget together for that. You know, I don't have a. All right, so let's see. Take these two out since basically they're ready to go. Well, we're going to seal the section on this one. That Conklin's going to be tomorrow's problem. Well, let's try these guys out. You got 30 minutes, Gary. Sounds like we might end up buying pens like horses, syndicated or something. Am I going to be selling pens in Chicago? No. No pens in Chicago. Oh, well, this isn't going to work, is it? There's no way that's going to work. that nib and feed are need to come out. Come out. All right. Well, it was a good try. It was a good thought. You off for the evening? Take care, Juicy. Be well. This is fairly fine. Maybe extra fine on, I won't say better paper, but different paper. I would call it extra fine. A little bit of feedback too, but not too bad. I thought about doing a table in Chicago or St. Louis, but I just don't like being stuck behind a table anymore. There's so much you miss not being able to walk around the room. I could, however, deliver something if somebody wanted to, but Whenever you knock a nib and feed out, always clean out the feed channels while you're at it, even if that's not the reason you took the whole thing apart. You got it there, you might as well work on it. I suspect this wasn't seated far enough in. The nib was pulling out away from the feed, which is going to give you all sorts of very unhappy writing. There is a crack in the base of the feed, base of the nib. Shouldn't be a problem. In fact, will be more stable once we get it at the correct depth. Looks okay. We're just going to heat set it a little bit. Better. March 26th. Yeah, I guess the Chicago show is coming up pretty soon, huh? Brian, thanks for the pencil guy contact. He had never seen those before. Interesting. I got to email you about your pen just to let you know where we're at. So I'll try to get to that today. All right, we'll try that. That should work. Uh, Your vines are usually the trouble children. Let me tell you, in how many years has it been now? 27 years. This is the first time I've run into this particular problem. Um, but I'm guessing you weren't here earlier in the stream, but I'll just reiterate it for you here, and then I'll definitely send you an email summarizing it for you. But um, I've got a couple possible solutions, but I'm working on it. I need to think about it, and I've enlisted some help to try to get some other ideas. The nib portion is all taken care of, and that part's great. That part is fantastic. I'm really excited about that part. It's getting the pen back together that has proven to be the problem, which is really most unusual, particularly on hard rubber pens. You don't have that problem. But this is a kind of a nice pen, and not that I don't give all pens the same level of care, but really nice pens you really don't want to break. Um, but I'll shoot you an email. Just a little bit of. Often you'll find balances will be sealed and then once you open them up and put them back together, then they're very difficult to. They're so loose. Take your time. You're not so surprised. You're a magnet for awesome finds at awesome prices with funky quirks. I don't mind a challenge once in a while, but boy, it is a very extra fine on that. You'd rather an expected challenge, huh? I don't like challenges on pens that are supposed to be relatively easy. Because then that just tells you something happened at some point. Somebody did something. At least we know. At least we know what the issue is. Could be worse. Okay. Let's see. Those are tests tomorrow. This I'm going to move into a different tray since it's basically done. I'll move it in with the desk pens over here. So we got this bad boy. I got a couple minutes here. I'm just going to pick out a few more pens. We can fill the tray up and at least see what we're going to work on next. Hang on. Absolutely, this one. I know the cap and the barrel don't match, but it has like this ridiculous. It's like a broad. Flexible monster on here. So let's do that guy. There's a nice marbled bounce. Now this guy looks interesting. It's an English dual fold with a VS button filler. but with what looks like a really, really great looking nib. So we'll do that. You work on antique light fixtures and fans. You have to table and walk away on ones I did not expect the energy I was going to take. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there, people. Right there. That's exactly what I talk about all the time. I have a whole tray. I have a whole stack over off to my right side of these trays of pens that just would not behave. And now is not the right time for them. And for those of you that have been watching for a long time, you may or may not remember this, but there was a point last year where I decided I was going to go tackle that stack. And, you know, the stack evolves. It rotates. Sometimes I just get sick of things and I throw them back in the bin. And, hey, Gabriel, you'll switch to cleaning a gearbox versus bringing in frustration. I decided I was going to tackle that stack, and actually, you know, after much, in some cases, there was a couple pens in there that have been in that pile for a year or more, 18 months. I was able to fix a good majority of them. Because it was just a new day, a new, fresh mindset. You know, 1,000 or two more pens repaired in between the last time I looked at it. Yeah, you got to wait for it to circle back. Yeah, absolutely. And it was, I remember repairing that one tray in particular. I mean, I had a pen, I had a Schaefer balance with the white feed that I had worked on for days and days and days and days. And I said, to hell with it. I'll put it back in the tray and I'll look at it some other day. And it took 4 weeks to open the pen. 4 weeks. 4. And it finally opened. I could not believe it. But you know, that kind of stuff happens. I hope this repair is not going to take 4 weeks. I've actually enlisted help from a good friend of mine, and between the two of us, I think we'll come up with something. We've got some ideas. They're not great ideas, but I just thought of another possible idea. But we'll come up with something. I mean, sometimes you just, you know, that's just it. You table it, and the next time you look at it, you're wiser. Hopefully. That's the game. That's the plan anyway, is to be wiser and to be able to do these things better. So I mean, you know, I don't take any Esterbrook for granted either, really, because you never know what you might come across. I mean, I could probably do them in my sleep, but you know, I still run across a weird Esterbrook that stumps me. Some of you might remember the CX 100 lever filler that I just gave up on. That we're just not doing these anymore. We are not doing these. Terrible pen. No matter how good the nib is, it's you know, it's impossible to fix. It's really hard to fix. And then what do you get? You get a chrome plated cap with a cheap injection molded barrel. You know, that one's, I know where that one is. It's sitting in the bin right behind me, right behind this screen. There's a big bag, actually. It's about that big, that wide. It's like a quart size baggie that is filled with CX100s. Most of them are cartridge pens, so that's a little different story, but, well, at least someone understands. At least someone knows where I'm coming from. I know a lot of you do, but it's good to hear it come from somebody else. All right. Well, I'm going to end there today. Um, you say no to Westinghouse fans? I know I hate life working on them. Yeah. Yeah, we have that in the pen world too. Schaefer back fillers. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I got a pile of them over there next to the lathe I can't get working. That's another story for another day. So, all right. Well, I'll try to, let's see, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. So, podcast tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Central. We'll see what we got cooking for that. I have no idea yet. So I guess I got to start working on that. In other words, we'll be back here at the bench on Monday. I will try. Yeah, now Waterman 452 and a half Vs. Yeah. Yeah, and if you watched, I actually fixed one of my 450. It wasn't a half V, but I fixed one of my 452s and an 0552 and a half, which should be the same diameter, like in that same week. And easy peasy. It just happens. It's just this one. So anyway, podcast tomorrow, back here on Monday. We'll bring in new pens. We'll be bringing new pens into the shop on Monday. Well, I have these ones that I picked out, and who knows what I'm going to. I think we are going to hit the antique stores on Saturday. So hopefully we'll be successful in that. And I got kind of looking over at I got trays and I have a tray of vacuumatics I started like, I don't know, 2 months ago. Disassembled them. I forget where we're at in the whole process. So, we might do those. Oh, before we leave, let's see. Let's take a look at this auction. Holy smokes. 206 pounds. 275.39 US dollars on that 4L. That's plus shipping. Yeah, you're at $300. That's actually, I hate to say it, it's super reasonable. Really super reasonable. So whoever got that, congratulations. That's a tough one to find. That's a pretty ugly looking 4L, but it's a 4L nonetheless. They're not on every street corner. So anyway. All right, well, I'm gonna run. I got a couple things to do. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend if I don't see you until then. Have a great afternoon, a great evening, a great afternoon, great morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind and be well. And we'll see you next time. All right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.